Okay, hey guys. It's just a quick review video of everything we've went over today. So let me get started then. So here we go. Um, okay, so like we mentioned before, these are just some data terms we need to know, some data terminology. The mean is an average of a data set, right? We can see over here, it's the sum of the terms divided by the number of the terms. So if you add up all these numbers, you get the sum. The number of terms here is 11. So what you have to do is mean equals sum of terms divided by number of terms. So we see 53 divided by 11. The mode is the highest occurrence of a number in the data set. So which one repeats the most in this data set? You can see it's 5, right? So yeah, so 5 is the mode here. The maximum number is 8. The minimum number is 1. And here we can see the median, right? Look at this. The median is the middle of the data set, basically. Look at this. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 values to the right of the data set, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 values to the left of the data set. This is what the median would end up being. Okay, guys? Now, there's a different example of what a median would be as well. Oh, sorry. There's another example I want to show of a data set. Now look at this. Can you guys count how many terms are here? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12 terms here. Okay. So what we need to look at here is, okay, let's say we just pick a number of 5. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 terms to the right and 5 terms to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at that. So it's not equal. It can't be the middle of the data set if there's more terms on this side than this side, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to pick another number to the right. Okay, look at this, 5, 6. And we're going to pick, look at this. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 terms to the right and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 terms to the left. So look at that. It's perfectly in the middle now. And what you're going to do with this 5 and 6, you're going to average these numbers. Now, remember, we went over the definition of average just now. An average is the sum of these two numbers divided by 2. So it's going to be 5 plus 6 equals 11, and 11 divided by 2 equals 5.5. Okay, guys, I hope everyone understands that. If you don't, please don't hesitate to reach out to me in the Slack, okay? Okay, so I'm gonna go to the Excel now, okay? Let me open up a new spreadsheet. So this is how you do it. You go to Google Drive and you press Google Sheets, okay? Okay, so if you guys don't follow along, keep rewinding the video and that should be helpful, okay? So file, import, we're gonna go to upload. We're gonna select a file from our device. And I have mine right here. So this is the data set that I downloaded. So I'm gonna press this. And you can see that it downloaded. For me, I'm gonna have to do this. I'm gonna say append to current sheet. Okay, you might also have to do this. So I would prefer doing this. Actually, you know what? Everyone just do this. Append to current sheet. Look at that. And all the data came. Okay. Okay, cool. And just for revision, each one of these blocks is called a cell. Okay. This is a cell. And this each cell has like an address. We can see this one has A1, this one has B7, this one has D13. And you can find these cells by going to the column and looking at this, at which row number is that, or you can look over here at the top. You can see D13. Okay, so there's very many applications to cells. So cells can either hold like data like, that's like, words, like you can even hold your own name, or you can hold numbers like 80 or like 16, 67 to any number, okay? But the best application of cells is when you can use functions. Now, an example of a function would be like adding, all these terms together. You see all of these, if we added these together, that would be a good definition of a function. So this is how you would do a function. You always have to put equal sign at front. Okay, always. You always put an equal sign at front. And you can type the function name. This is called sum. Now, these functions are built into Excel, okay? So these are functions that, the computer does by itself. These are functions that the computer gives to you, okay? So let's say we wanted to add up all these numbers together. all these numbers, okay? You do sum of the ID of the cell, which is C2, C2, and you would separate them with the colon, and you would go to C17, which ends over here. Okay, look at that. And it's going to give you a sum of everything. Look at that. 1144. That's a sum of all these numbers. Now, this sum function, it has to be exactly this word. It can't be something like add. I mean, it could be add, but once you do add, you can only have two numbers, okay? But if you do sum, you can add any number of terms you want, okay? So once you do sum, you have to give one range, you have to give a range of values. And this range for us starts at C2 and it goes all the way to C17, okay? And we have that added value completely now. Okay, let me go over one more example where we actually use more than one argument. So let's say this, okay? Look at this. This is called an argument. This 2 is called an argument. This 3 is also called an argument. They're separated by a comma. So this would actually have two arguments inside of it, okay? So some functions ask for two arguments, like sum doesn't, okay? Sum doesn't ask for two arguments. I'll go over this a little bit more later as well, but sum doesn't ask for two arguments. This asks for a range of values, not any arguments. So you give this and it'll give you, you have to input the range, but for this, you have to give two arguments, okay? Like I was saying before, there's also this add function where you can put two numbers and it'll add 5. Some things ask for ranges and some things ask for arguments. As we get further into the course, I'll show you guys how to do that. Okay, now we're gonna insert a chart here, okay? We'll move on to the next part. Insert chart. Okay, I'm gonna move this chart over so we can see all of our data. You just have to click on it and move it, okay? Okay. Now I'm gonna pick, let's say, I'm just gonna pick a bar chart, or sorry, actually, you know what? Let me make it different this time. Let me pick a bar chart this time. Okay, now you're gonna go to setup, which is right here, and you're gonna go to data range, okay? Now our data range is from A1 all the way to C17, okay? I'm not gonna include month this time. So A1 all the way to C17, that's gonna be our data range. If you guys are following along, just also type this in, okay? If you need to go back, just rewind the video. Okay, that's gonna be the data range. So we're gonna press that now. And look, it gives you a bar graph for every single city, and it gives you for every single season, and it gives you the temperature and all that. But let's say if you don't want the season there, like you guys can see the season is there. If you don't want that there right now, that doesn't look very good. So you can go to setup again, scroll down a little bit, and this time instead of x-axis, you're gonna go to y-axis, and you can see very clearly why. The city names are on y-axis, and the season is also on the y-axis now. So you would take this label off, and now look, the season's off. Like you don't even have to worry about that. And you can press this aggregate function. What this does, it'll add all the temperatures for each city. So let's say Honolulu has 80, 82, 87, and 87. It'll add everything together, okay? So it'll be 80 plus 82 plus 87 plus 87, and it'll all be written under Honolulu. Same for San Francisco. So I'll just demonstrate that quickly. So I'm gonna press aggregate and look at that. It adds up all the temperatures. But we went over this in class. Like if you add up all the temperatures, that doesn't give us any useful data. Like if you add up the amount of Fahrenheit per year, like that doesn't give you any useful information, right? Think about it logically. What would be useful is if you got the average temperature per year. You can say like, oh, Honolulu on average is hotter than San Francisco. Okay, you can say that. So now look, you see this button right here called sum. What sum does is it just adds everything up, but we want an average. So we're gonna go press average. And look, now it gives the average of each city. You can hover over each bar to see the values and look at that. Okay, now I'm gonna go over some stuff we didn't go over in the meeting. Actually, before that, let me show. You can also make a pie chart. So look at this. You can make a pie chart. There's many different types of pie charts that we'll go over, and you can also aggregate, right? So you can get the temperature. But that's not useful in this case. Pie chart, this is a little bit confusing. I'm just showing that we can make different types of charts. You can even make, a line graph. This is not useful because there is city, but if you aggregate it, then it becomes a little bit more useful. But this is a sum of all temperatures, so we would have to make it by average again, right? So look at that. We can see the average slowly going down. It's just a line graph, that's all it is. Um, I'll teach more of this in the next class, but I guess some things that I can start teaching is like some customizations for graphs, okay? So the chart style, so you can change up things like background color, like look at this, I made it blue now. The chart border can be black or it can even be like orange or something like that. There's chart and axis titles. This will be important later on. But look at this. There's this title text I can change. I can change it to like temperature of my favorite cities. Of my M key is still not working. Okay, favorite cities. Okay. And now you guys see that? It comes up. And this is just some other Google Docs stuff. Like you can change the color of the text. So I'll make it like yellow. Look at that. And you can make it bold, all that. There's series. I don't think you need that. Let me change this color. Actually, yeah, this is under series, by the way. This just gives you the value. Actually, no, let me go back to bar graph. That might be easier. Oh, yeah, that should be good. Oh, I have to aggregate it again. So I'm doing the same steps again. Okay, and I'm gonna change the chart title one more time. Let me change the background color as well. Let me make it like orange. Okay, that's very bright. Okay. You can even make it 3D, by the way. So like that looks really cool now, right? So, okay, charts. I'm gonna change the temperature versus city to my favorite city temperature. There we go. Okay. And I can change the color of this to anything I want, like blue. Okay, now there's series. So I can change I can change the color of this to anything I want as well, but I'm gonna keep it this way for now. Um, I'll just do this for example, I guess. You can change it to whatever you want, but I'm gonna keep it as blue. Actually, I'll keep it as like a lighter blue color. Yeah, that looks better. Okay. Um, there's also this legend, but you don't have to worry about that. I'll talk more about that soon. There's a horizontal axis, which is the x-axis. There's a vertical axis, which is referring to the temperatures. Oh, wait, I think I forgot to aggregate this by average. So you would have to aggregate it by average. Okay, there we go. Now it works. And yeah, I mean, other than that, there's more stuff I'm gonna go over the next few weeks, but keep trying to play with Excel a little bit more. I'll give you guys some homework. It'll be on a different data set, but I'll show you guys like, I'll ask you guys like how to get a bar chart that looks like this from some type of data, okay? Okay, I hope that helped. Okay, see you guys next week.